Hey there, listeners. Welcome to the Leadership is Changing podcast. My name is Denis and I'm your host. Well, by now, some of you have been rocked or you have quit on your goals. As we're coming towards the end of the first month already, amazing how time is flying by. Some of you have had people laugh at you or your goals, or you got feedback to say that you are crazy and it will never work. Look, in an environment of full distractions, maintaining our focus on our goals can be challenging. So a well-devised game plan is really going to be crucial for your goal achieving or achievement. So in today's episode, we're going to explore the critical role of adhering to a game plan while striving to reach your goals. Let's discuss.
Welcome to Leadership is Changing. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change. This is taking your leadership to another level by finding the balance between executive excellence and personal well-being through stories that inspire real change. It's time to adapt in our fast-moving world when leadership is changing with your host, Denis Giannoutsas.
Well, welcome to the Ask Denis episode. This is a freestyle episode where I'm asked a question by our listeners, or I share my thoughts, experiences, and insights from working with many leaders around the globe. Hey, listeners, well, it's been a great start to the new year. And as I said, we're almost at the end of the first month, which is amazing. Now, many of you have reached out to me to say that you're really getting a lot from certain episodes that I've just released, certain of late. And in particular, we're talking about episodes 536 and 539. 536 is set your year up for massive success. And that's when I talk about how you set goals and what you should be doing. If you haven't already done your goal setting so far this year, then listen to that episode and then do your goal setting. If you have done some goal setting but you want to revisit again, listen to that episode as well. Now, 539 is you have your goal set, now what? Now, the important thing here is this. If you've got your goals set, how do you pull together a plan to make sure that you're moving forward in those goals? So that episode is really good to check out as well. Now, my question to you is this. What have you got out of these two episodes, if you've already heard them, or once you listen to them? If so, and you've got some great things, or you've got just one item out of it, can you send me a message and just let me know, either through a DM, a direct message on social media, or send me an email, Denis@LeadingChangePartners. I would love to hear more about what you're actually getting out of those two episodes in particular. All right, so let's discuss today's topic. So we're in a world where there's a whole lot of distraction and we're having this ever-changing landscape, and the road or the journey to achieving one's goals can be sometimes faced with challenges. Now, when you're in that kind of time or during those times, the importance of sticking to a well-thought-out plan or well-thought-out game plan becomes strong or becomes very evident for us. Now, the game plan is not just a roadmap, because it's also a commitment by you to the approach towards bringing your goals to life. In other words, it's a way of you saying, here's my game plan. It's not just a roadmap, but it's the commitment, and I'm signing up to bring these goals to life. In today's episode, I want to dive into why sticking to your game plan is important in goal achievement. Now, if we talk about the game plan, what do we mean by it? Well, it's really like a strategic outline or a high-level outline. So in other words, if you're sitting in your helicopter looking down, it's very high level, and it's ready to help you achieve a specific goal or goals. Now, it's also about you being clear in actually setting those goals. Are they measurable, and are they also whereby you've got certain steps that are outlined to help you get that goal and putting it in place? What resources might you need in relation to that goal? In other words, is it money, or do you need to find out and get people on board, or is there a certain technology, an app, things like that you might need to help you in supporting you as a resource to bringing that goal to life? And also, have you got some time frames set? In other words, do you want to get it done in this month, in the first quarter, the first half of the year? When do you want to get it done by? And so it's just having some time frames there as well. Really, the effectiveness of a game plan lies in its ability to provide you direction and focus. So then you can navigate through things that may come in front of you, certain uncertainties or challenges or things that might be complex. But it also helps you have that clear vision so you know where you are going. Now, there's certain benefits to sticking to a game plan, and I'm just going to go through them. There's five benefits that I'm sort of sharing with you today, but I'm sure there's more. Number one, it actually does help you maintain focus. As I said before, we're in the world whereby there's a lot of distractions. In fact, we find that distractions happen to us every single day. Now, a game plan, what it's going to do for you is keep you focused on your ultimate goal. It'll act like a compass, guiding you through the fog of daily activities and possible distractions. Number two is the efficient use of resources. Now, time and resources are limited. So a game plan is going to really ensure that the time and the resources that you're going to use are used efficiently. And it's actually going to help you start to prioritize certain tasks that will move you closer to the goal, and therefore helping you reduce wasteful activities. Here's an example. For some of you who are looking at setting up a business, I've got to get the brand right, I've got to get the logo right, and I spend a lot of time on the logo. I need to get a website done, or I need to get my business cards done. Now, they're all important, but the thing that's actually going to help you grow the business is revenue. And what you should be focused on is the game plan about bringing in new customers, going out there and talking to customers and bringing in new business. All the other stuff I find at times is noise or distractions, and a lot of people think they need that. I know people who have gone and built massive businesses without a website. So the key here is make sure you're staying focused and you're using the time and resources efficiently and effectively. Number three, measurable progress. In the other episodes I've talked about around goals is about how do you monitor and track things. By actually having a game plan, you can track your progress against the milestones that you're aiming for. But it also provides you motivation and allows you to adjust your strategy on the journey. In other words, if you're traveling somewhere to go on holiday as an example, and you jump in the car, and as you're driving along, there is a roadblock. In other words, there's some roadworks happening. So you're having to take a detour. You're still going to the same place you want to go to, but sometimes we need to adjust our journey because there might be a challenge or something going on that doesn't allow us to move forward on that sort of current track. So we may need to move somewhere else. Number four, it helps you reduce overwhelm. So by having a really structured game plan, it sort of helps you break down the journey into manageable steps. And so it makes the goals that might be daunting a little bit more simple or a little bit more realistic for you. In fact, it could be a little bit more attainable and less overwhelming. There's a metaphor out there that people talk about, and that is, how do you eat an elephant? Elephants being so massive and so big. I don't know why you would want to eat an elephant, but that's a metaphor, and it is one bite at a time. So how do you go after your goal? And I've actually said to you in other episodes, the goal should be big, hairy, audacious goals. It should be scary. The thing here is, if you put it into small bite size and you start to walk towards those steps, that's how you can achieve those goals, and it reduces overwhelm. Number five, a game plan helps build resilience. Now, if you can stick to your plan, especially when you're facing challenges, that's when it builds resilience. It sort of teaches you the value of being persistent and also staying on the course, even though you may have some obstacles in front of you. Now, challenges in sticking to the game plan, well, even though there's some benefits that I've just shared with you, there could be actually some sort of things that could be challenges as well. And that is that it's not always straightforward. So in other words, you can have a game plan. You can have a fantastic game plan. By the way, don't spend too much time on the game plan or trying for it to be perfect. Get the high-level game plan and go for it. Don't hang around. Now, we might actually find that we face unexpected challenges or changes. So we might need to adjust, just like I said about the roadworks before. The thing here is we want to make sure we know where we're going, because there's this human tendency to resist strict schedules. So in other words, this is a saying that I always say, with structure comes flexibility. So the ability that you have this game plan is giving you structure, but it's also going to give you some flexibility. Now, overcoming challenges requires discipline, adaptability, focus, and a strong belief in the benefits of your game plan. So I want to share with you right now 4 sort of areas or 4 things around strategies for sticking to your game plan. So we talked about there's benefits. We've talked about there could be some challenges, but I've also want to talk to you about the strategies for sticking to your game plan. Number 1 is regular review and adaptability. So if you can review your game plan on a regular basis, just to keep making sure that it's still relevant and it's still effective. But you know what? Be prepared to make adjustments if you're going to get, say, like new information or that the circumstances change. You may need to adjust. Be ready for that. In other words, don't be so set in your ways. Number 2 is that you're setting realistic expectations. Be realistic in your planning. Be real about it. Be smart about it. Because if you set unachievable goals or timelines, then that can be actually leading you towards frustration. And then you're probably going to give up on the plan. Now, I've said in the other episodes as well, is that yes, you can actually have big, massive goals that are scary. You don't know how to get there. Yep, that's fine. But the other one is, let's say an example. I set a goal that this year I'm going to be on the moon. Well, there may not be any rockets going to the moon this year, right? So that's a bit unrealistic. The other thing too is I'm probably not going to fit in that rocket. Well, maybe you need to lose a little bit more weight. But anyhow, what I'm trying to say here is set some realistic expectations. Number 3 is accountability. What I would do if I was you is share your goals and plans with someone that you trust. Maybe an accountability partner. That is somebody you say, hey, why don't we just check in with each other on a regular basis and we just hold each other accountable to the things that we've committed to doing. Now, an accountability can increase your commitment to sticking to your plan. Here's an example. You get a personal trainer to go to the gym. If you're paying that person and that person's waiting for you at the gym, more than likely you're going to be accountable to go to the gym. Same thing here. If somebody's holding you accountable to it and they're holding you accountable to your goals and you're holding them accountable to their goals, that's an ideal thing for to happen. Number 4 is celebrating milestones. I've said it in many other episodes as well. Remember that we need to acknowledge, we need to celebrate when we reach certain milestones or certain things are coming to an end. This is really going to help boost your morale and provide motivation for you to continue on the journey towards your goals. So in conclusion here, sticking to your game plan is really a vital component of being successful. It requires discipline, it requires focus, and sometimes the courage, now get this, the courage to say no to distractions. Here's an example. You're working hard and you may be asked to go out for a coffee with some others, or you may be asked to meet some people down at the beach, or you might be asked to go to the movies with somebody, but you know you have a pressing deadline that you want to focus on and you want to get done. Sometimes you need to say no to that distraction. Now remember this, the path and the journey to achieving significant goals is really a straight line. It never is. It requires constant navigation, and sometimes you might need to recalibrate or you might need to reset. But you know what? If you've got a strong game plan, the journey becomes more structured, less daunting, and are far more likely that you're going to end in success. Why? Because you know where you're going. Listeners, I've got a call to action for you. In fact, I've got 2 of them this week. Number 1 is I'd love you to review your game plan if you've already got one. Do you need to recalibrate or do you need to reset it? If you don't have a game plan, my call to action for you would be for you to set one up and get it ready. Number 2 call to action is an offer for you. And what I'm about to say to you, I do not say lightly. What I'm about to say to you is I'm opening up something here and I've got 3 coaching spots available today. And if you're one of these kind of people, you're unfulfilled in your current role or you're craving something more and you want to go to a bigger, more exciting role, but you're unsure how to make the leap. Or you might need some help in the transition of helping you from where you are to where you need to get to go and take on those bigger roles. Or if you're wanting to take your executive presence to the next level, that could be you as well. Or have you been made redundant lately and you're not sure where to start? You'd like to get some clarity around your next steps and you'd like to step forward with purpose and confidence. Why do I say that last piece? Because sometimes when people get made redundant, their confidence gets knocked. But having somebody beside them to help you get your confidence back and helps you get clarity around where you're going, it's really a good thing to be in and a good position to be in. But with my actionable coaching and a step-by-step approach, I can help you gain clarity and courage that you need to make your next move. Now, whether you're looking to disrupt the status quo or simply find greater purpose and fulfillment, then the executive coaching program I have will provide you the tools and the guidance and make it happen. Now, if this sounds like you, then please feel free to reach out to me and let's get on a free 30-minute strategy call and let's discuss what your needs are and how can I help you make that leap. Hey listeners, well that's it for this episode. It's always a pleasure being with you. Thanks for joining me in today's Leadership is Changing podcast. Until next time, bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Leadership is Changing with your host, Denis Giannoutsas. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change, inspiring executives and leaders to adapt and lead a bigger game in a fast-moving world.